All right, this is a thread response to Fred's vinyl community thread, or as Andrea said, the Changes thread, which I think is a pretty good name for it. Just kind of the question was, how has the vinyl community changed you? And man, oh man, where do I begin? I don't know. I was actually kind of like really thinking about this the other day, and I was thinking about sort of like where the vinyl community is at this very point in time, and I think, without doing a census, I guess, I'd say like the core group is probably about 200 people. There's maybe more than that, but I mean, the people whose names you kind of see tossed around quite a bit, and the people that are, commenting, and I'm commenting on their videos, things like that. I mean, it might be more, but for the most part, I think that's right around where that number is. And I think it's really cool because I think that's a good place. I think it's a good size. I think that's a manageable size. And I think Derek kind of said it the other day where he had hit 700 subscribers, and he said, I'm just not going to do a contest because it's just going to be impossible, to keep track of all the people that are there. But when I say 200, I mean it's kind of like those are the people that I think are posting on a regular basis. I mean, some people have kind of gone MIA. Robert Ye, I mean, I don't think he's posted a video for about a month or so. But I would say for the most part, those are kind of the people that you see. Think about with Doc Strangely Strange, 100 subscribers contest. I mean, you kind of hear the same names coming up quite a bit, which I think is good. I mean, like I said, there's that core group of people, and I think that we really, I think of where our tastes in music are. There's definitely that overlap. When I was talking about Genesis today, I was like, how do I say this without really because that's the only album I have of theirs. That's the only record. I've kind of been there. I've listened to that stuff, and it's just, I think refining your tastes, I think, is one thing that has really occurred to me throughout the vinyl community. I've kind of gone through like a collection overhaul. Pretty much every month I've kind of gone through, and I just have this is like a huge stack of records back here that I have that I just need to go and sell. But it's, just stuff that I kind of like look at, and it's just like, at one time or another it sounded like it was a good idea, but even the 30-day challenge has just made me, I mean, it's something funny. I mean, it's just like, hey, I'm not going to buy records, what I mean, for 30 days, and I'll talk about a record, and I'll absorb my collection. And it just really, I learned a lot about myself. I've learned a lot about my, kind of my buying habits, I guess, and, and it's really given the ability to kind of refine the collection. Like I said, I went there the other day, and 2 days now, or it would be yesterday, and I actually went to a record store because I had to kind of do stuff. I mean, I just kind of ordered some, like a magazine that I always kind of get, but it's like I kind of missed out on it because I wasn't at the beginning of September, wasn't really doing any record shopping, I wasn't going in the stores at all, you know what I mean? And kind of like, as I joked about with kind of that email from that one record store, they'll do, they do auctions from time again, which is pretty much like they have it on their website. Which is pretty cool because the way that it works is, their prices are very, very cheap in the store. But I mean, every once in a while you'll see like a Holy Grail will appear, but pretty much the auction is just like all the Holy Grails. And what it is it's like the people that are buying those are kind of like dealers, or they're kind of big time collectors. And it's kind of like, well, let's get the most, rather than putting it out for, $9-10, which, in all seriousness, I mean, at that record store, if you're buying a record for $9, it's something that's really, really good. And I mean, that's used. Doubles are probably like $15. Every once in a while you might find the Holy Grail that will be more than that. But it's just kind of one of those things that they do that, so it's like they'll make their money for the record store so that they can have the people that are the regulars. They can come in and they can buy a record for $6-7, whatever the case may be. So, I mean, I don't know if I was going with that. I kind of lost my train of thought. But, like I said, it's sort of, if kind of go back to my thought there about as far as with the size of the vinyl community, it's really like part of me really doesn't want to make it any bigger than that, because it's like you don't have that personal connection, you know. And I'm sure we all do this when we're out record shopping or just looking at records. Like you kind of like you have people in mind, you know what I mean. And I think Andrea said that, where it's sort of like, you know, oh well, this person, you know, this is a good record for this person, or I know this person's looking for this record and they want to, you know, do a trade. I mean, when I first came here, it was kind of funny because early on I had talked with Jason's Vinyl Obsession, and we were kind of like trying to get a trade going, and I didn't have anything that I wanted to trade. Like I just didn't have anything that I just really felt that I wanted to get rid of. And now it's sort of like, you know, as this has progressed and things like that, it's really kind of had an emphasis where I know that when you watch these videos, it's sort of like me, you know, like seriously, like how narcissistic is it, where it's sort of like, you know, I'm going to watch Mark's videos and he's just going to talk for, you know, 10 minutes and I'm not getting any feedback from you until after the video is posted. And then, you know, the comments are coming out, you know, in which, you know, I try to respond as much as I can with the comments. You know, sometimes it's like some people comment and I completely forget about to do it, and then it's like, you know, we've moved on to the next day or whatever the case may be. So, you know, if I don't comment on your comment, you know, don't be upset. I've read it, you know what I mean? I've gotten the email that you've commented on my video, so I've read it, you know what I mean? So I am acknowledging it on this side, but I may not acknowledge it there online. So don't take any offense to that or anything. But you know, we've created just sort of a great tool and a great way to do this community. I mean, it's better than just a regular message board, you know what I mean? Because we get to kind of see what happens, or like, oh, you know, like kind of with the mystery thing, like I sent something out to D Brown, and you know, and LJ got his the other day, and I don't know, I've got to pick somebody else to send it to, and it's just, for me, it's just something that's really cool, where it's like, you know, like I was talking about when I first started on here, like it was like everything that I had was like, I was very possessive about my collection, you know what I mean? I was really like, these are all my records, and I didn't really have anything that I wanted to kind of like part with. And you know, just by luck, what Jason wanted, I found another copy of a really good copy. So but at the same time, I've gone through the collection, I've sort of just like weeded out stuff, just like, I don't really need this, you know what I mean? It's just, you know, compared to the big picture, like where does this record stand in the big picture of things, you know what I mean? It's like, it's a nice curiosity, but, you know, I don't know if it's something I'm going to listen to all the time. So it's like, one big change with the community is just I've gone through and I've just weeded out a lot of stuff out of my collection. I've made it like, I've really focused the collection, and I think that's really something that was really important, because I would say before I started here, it was kind of like going off, you know, I was just buying whatever, whereas like I sort of wanted, I had a completist nature to me, which, you know, if I look at what I have on iTunes and CDs and things like that, like it's something very easy to do. You know, you look at an artist's discography and you say, well, I'm just going to get everything out of that discography. And I think really, if you just really focus on it, you don't need all of it. It's not important. I mean, hearing every single note that the band has ever played, it's in the grand scheme of things, it's not important. You know what I mean? So, you know, I've really gone through and I've weeded out a lot of stuff, and kind of, you know, traded things with a few different people. And, you know, like I said, my mystery packages, you know, like the one I sent to D Brown, it was like, you know, those are cool records. I mean, they're listenable records and things like that, but, you know, I mean, they have more value to other people than they do to me. And, you know, it's not putting a negative look on anything that I've ever sent out, because, you know, if I didn't buy it in the first place, you know what I mean? I wouldn't, if I didn't want it, I wouldn't have bought it. Really, this plain and simple. That's how it would have worked, you know. So I don't know. It's a big, huge thing, and I thank everybody. Thank all of those people who subscribed to me. You know, all the people that have listened to me talk about, you know, and that's the best part. And I feel like if one person, if they watch my video and they say, yeah, I think that's cool, I'll look for that next time. You know what I mean? And I mean, if you value my opinion, which I value, you know, so many people's opinion on the vinyl community. You know, I take just little pieces of knowledge, and it's something that I obtain, and it's great, you know, because it's a picture's worth 1,000 words, like they say. You know, I can read reviews all day long, but, you know, somebody holds up a record and they say, oh, this record is awesome, then I'll be like, all right, well, you know, I can dig that, I can understand that. So to to me, that's the big part. That's the big part of this. And you know, who knows? We might start on another love train, which is really funny because that's right when I started kind of getting into this, and I was like, yeah, you know, everybody's cool. That's right. Okay. So, you know, much love to everybody out there, and again, thanks to all the subscribers, and you know, all the people that have sent me comments and messages, and like I said, I will try to get back to you as soon as you can, so, or as soon as I can, you know. So good stuff all around. So we'll see you later. So Fred, that was an awesome thread. So we'll see everybody on the flip side, as they say.